Our first son ex-girlfriend called our first son, I don't know, for whatever reason, exes never go away. Called our first son, and our first son was like, oh, I am at Ihiala with my younger brother who had an accident. Okay? And then she was like, oh, she is a student. She was a student in that eastern region in one of the universities there. She said, oh, Ihiala is close to my school. I could come over. And then that was how she came over. She spent a couple of days with my brother. So we continued to stay. And I was very, happy with her and appreciated her for the sacrifice she was making, because that wasn't easy. She doesn't even know my second brother before. So I told her that I am here now. She can just go. I'm done with my exams as a student, but I heard her school was still on section. So I told her it's time for her to leave so I can take care of my brother. And she said, no, 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 it's fine. It's okay. I said to her, no, you need to go back to school. She said, no, no, I'm fine. I'm happy to help. I said, okay. And then we'll continue to stay. My brother was recovered. My brother gained his consciousness and met the both of us. So my brother hadn't met her before I came. He met the two of us because he was unconscious before I came. So my brother, appreciated us, thanked both of us, thanked her. And then my brother also told her to leave. She said no, she would like to stay, that there is no more happening in school. She just told her story, and then we continued to stay together. There was not much she was doing while I was there. The hospital stay is just stay, take care of the patients, help them with stuff they need and all of that. So it's not something so difficult. We don't need two persons to do it. So my brother was in pain but was happy. He was in pain. He was in so much pain, but he was concealing it. He doesn't want to, to make us feel his pain that much, because I know his pain was really, really big. Why? Because his bone was sliced into two, was cut up open. His skin, his whole lap, how big a lap can be, right? The whole lap was sliced in. So the whole lap was cut, up to the bone. The bone was also sliced. The only thing keeping his lap together was just a piece of flesh by the other side, across. So I knew this was very painful. And his leg was hung up like this. His leg was hanging up like this. And there was, needles and irons and stuffs, there binding his bones and his flesh together. And his hip was swollen, was massively swollen. He was in a very, very big pain, but he doesn't show his pain, and I appreciate him for that. So he was always trying to be happy. So, but it got to a point my brother started, changing. He was no longer happy. He was always in a bad mood, moody. He was always looking sad, and I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know this girl was taking advantage of my brother at night while I'm sleeping. She was, she was always up there forcing herself on my brother and trying to take advantage of him and all sorts. I'll continue this story again. Let me go and attend to something, please.